has been a culture in my family to have always what we call an annual medical checkup. By the way, I recommend people to always go for medical checkup, not necessarily when you are sick, but it should be a culture that you're supposed to develop. By the way, if most of us will do half of what we are doing to our cars, it will be awesome, because most people have no problem to have regular checks to check their cars, whether there's a problem or not. We normally take it to the mechanic to check so many things, wheel balance and so on and so forth. But our life is more valuable than cars, so I think we should start taking our lives more valuable. Let it not be that it's only when you are sick and completely helpless that's when you go to the hospital. I think there's supposed to be a campaign for people to learn to go to hospital to have medical checkup. Okay, by the way, that's by the way anyway. What I'm trying to say is that we have this culture, so we go, me and my wife, to have, and of course, everyone in the family, to have a medical checkup. Of course, we book an appointment that very year. I think this is 2 years ago. The story is 2 years ago. So we book an appointment, and somehow, because some of us are in the academia, sometimes you can get busy. I mean, the time for the appointment, we're supposed to go there, but I forgot. So in the morning when I woke up and I went and I took my breakfast. And after I finished taking my breakfast, that was when I remembered that, I need to go to the hospital that day to have my checkup, an annual checkup. So we went, and then we've had series of tests and so on and so forth. And we had to see the doctors with our results. And I appeared before the first doctor, and then the doctor looked at my results, and without asking me any question or anything, he started to say, "Oh, my blood sugar is high." And then she went on listing a lot of things, what I shouldn't eat, what I should not eat, what I should not, things I should do, things I should not do. I should return after I've done all this. I should return the next month so that they will run test again. I nearly say something, but I just kept quiet because she didn't ask me anything. I know that definitely I'm going to go see other consultants as well. So we left. And then the next place to go is to see a urologist. So I went. This time around, the urologist is an old doctor. Is probably has spent up to 30 years because his hair is completely white. Very interesting doctor. And immediately he got my files and my result. He looked at them. And the first thing he said was a question. He asked me a question. "Did you eat this morning?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Oh, there's no problem. That explains what I'm seeing here." You can see two doctors interpreting result differently. One is because included the patient, that is me in this case, included me to ask me certain questions. Simple question. This is not even about history, about so many things. Just simple question. He asked me. Obviously, of course, by just seeing this urologist is older than the first doctor I saw. The first doctor is quite younger. Of course, quite you can easily show that there's experience there. I want to encourage many young professionals in this time. Most times, as I said, with the advancement in technology, there's temptation to completely neglect the patient. But the patient has been always a very important source of information that if diagnosis must go accurately, the patient must be at the center of it. Since that day, I try to avoid the other doctor because I don't trust whatever she will do. Because, truly speaking, because when you are a patient and you appear before a doctor, definitely there's this sense, if you are included in the discussion, there's this sense of, um, there's this trust, there's this rapport that is built between you and the doctor. If the doctor includes you to ask you a lot of questions, you'll be glad to provide a lot of information. And I feel, even though, yes, definitely, I cannot go to, uh, I can't go to see only the urologist, but I wish the urologist can do everything for me because I felt so honored before him, you understand, because he was able to to engage me into the problem. We continued to talk after he asked me a number of questions, and then he checked my result. He was quite engaging, and then say this, oh, there's no problem, this giving me assurance. But before the other first doctor, man, you will feel as if you are something is about to go. You are closer to death, or a terrible thing is about to happen. So this, again, when you bring what has happened to me, and I know, definitely, I don't know if you have maybe face experience like mine, or you have had experience with doctors that have been wonderful. I want you to share it in the comment section. I want to know how has been your experience. But we will have to, if again, if you are a doctor or a medical practitioner, this is just like an information from a patient. We are trying to, we are begging you as patients, please include us in your diagnosis. Include us. We have a lot of information to tell you. Sometimes you can help us interpret it in your professional mind, but don't neglect what we have to say. We may not be able to say it correctly the way, of course, you will want us to say it, but just understand that our information is important. Sometimes we will say it incorrectly. Sometimes we will say exaggerate it. Whatever. At least when you engage us and you get those information, you are able to filter it because you are the professional. So you can filter it with your knowledge and skills. So the point I'm trying to say is that as patients, we're saying, if you're a medical professionals and you're hearing me, please engage us. Engage us. I recently found an article, is a commentary published by Mayo Clinic Proceedings. The is a journal, quite a good journal, 6.7 impact factor. And this article is about listening in healthcare. But this is a profound lesson I have learned, even though over the years I've come to value the importance of listening. But in this case, is a listening to patients. And the title of the commentary is The Value and the Values of Listening. Leonard L. Barry and colleagues were the authors, and great work here. They are all from the US. And there's a part that caught my attention most, probably, but the whole paper is a good one. But I want to focus, because of what I want to just comment. Let me focus on the subheading, values-driven listening. Now, they give a story. Let me just read some portion of it. A nurse in a Norwegian nursing home had a challenging patient who always resisted attempt to care for him. One day, as the nurse prepared him for his morning bath, she asked, "What will make a good day for you?" "I want to wear my blue shirt," the patient said. "Why the blue one?" the nurse asked, curious about the patient's choice. "That was my wife's favorite shirt," the patient said, engaged by the nurse's uh, interest. "She died 2 years ago today, and I want to honor her." Now, during the birth, when she was bathing the patient recounted to the nurse how he and his wife had met, their long life together, and what she would meant, she had meant to him. When the birth ended, he asked for his wheelchair so that he could go tell other patients about his wonderful wife. It was the first time he had asked to interact with others in the nursing home. This nurse care, beginning with the question, "What would make a good day for you?" exemplified value-driven listening. It begins with proximity to suffering. She's not removed from the patient, but at his side performing the intimate act of birthing. Her question shows genuine curiosity and a capacity to hold the patient's grief without turning away. By acting on the patient's wish, she honors his wife, building trust and giving power back to the patient. I want to repeat this line again. He said, by acting on the patient's wish, she honors his wife, building trust, giving power back to the patients. If a lot of healthcare professionals, particularly the younger ones, the young professionals, those whether they are medical doctors or nurses, will actually get a hold of this, will read this article, it will be beneficial to them. I recommend, if you are listening to me, if you are a professional, please get this article and read. It's going to be very important. Now, listening is a very important thing. And while there has been advancement in technology, sometimes there can be temptation to lean towards machines to give us result and somehow neglect the patients. And that's why this ending part is crucial. And I thank actually Leonard Elbari and his colleagues for this article. Definitely, I thank them for this work. This last line, well, it's not the last line in the article, but I'm just trying to say the last part of this story. You understand? He said, by acting on the patient's wish, she honors his wife. That is, the nurse honors the patient's wife, therefore building trust and giving power back to the patient. And giving power back to the patient. So you could see that the patient was able to begin to relate and open up like never before. You want to have to see that treatment is going on well, then the patient need to have a sense of importance before the doctor, before the nurses, before those who are part of the healthcare system. We want to feel that we are important, not just some piece of items there that we are only, well, we only receive command. Just go and do this, do this, do this, take this, take 2 pills, take these 2. No, 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 no. We don't just want that. We want also to be engaged, we want to feel honor. We want to feel love. We want to feel that we truly we will trust. I'm speaking as a patient, so just understand me. It's just like a feedback. If you are a medical professional and you are listening to me, and also to students, because I also teach medical students. So to students that you are listening, please don't neglect the patient. The patient is important, and I want you never to neglect the patient. And this is crucial, because learn to listen, I know there is a lot of challenges, which of course they discuss it also in this article, the issue of the appointment time and all that. I just know that no matter how little, if you can be able to give ears to your patient, you're going to provide with important information. The result from the lab is good. However, the result cannot interpret itself. What gives context to the result is actually information from the patient, because without that kind of context, you are really going to likely miss a lot in patient care. I hope this helps, or this feedback is a feedback or a commentary, whichever one. But I hope this helped. And I believe that the goal is to inform, and then to as well, so that the healthcare and the society will become a better place. I truly love what the health professionals are doing. Is really a heavy work, a really, really heavy work. I did a video some times ago trying to note that if you're studying medicine or nursing or any of these courses, it is not just, you're not just studying a course. You are actually carrying a responsibility. It's truly a responsibility. And you must be, you should feel honored that you are in this profession where people can trust you with their lives, can trust you even with their hopes. Understand? And I keep praying for as many medical practitioners, so that they will learn not to betray trust of patients, and to know that there shouldn't be any room for mistakes, because if there's any mistake, actually a life definitely will be involved, which means that any mistake will be almost like gambling with a life. So that's what makes this profession very critical and noble. I truly honor you. So thank you for the work you're doing for the society. Thank you, doctors. Probably you've not had patients say thank you. On behalf of patients, I'm saying thank you for the work you are doing. I know definitely you have received shouting of, all kinds in the hospital, some crying, some all that. Anyway, this I'm saying thank you on behalf of patients. Thank you for the work you are doing. Thank you for all that you have done and you are still doing for the society. We truly appreciate what you are doing.